All right, I don't know where I was. um, but eventually, I think it was ingrained in me. So by the time that I was 11 years old, I was very faithful to God. God was everything to me. I rejoiced his name. I sung hymns and songs and acted accordingly. I wanted to learn more about the Bible. I read further when wasn't supposed to. Some nights I would sit up with a flashlight in my bed and read my Bible. Got caught a couple times, got in trouble. um, but I became very devout and very faithful. And I know that's a funny thing to say about an 11-year-old, but I can say firmly that I believed with all my heart that Jesus Christ was my Lord and Savior. And singing his songs gave me this feeling that I never quite could explain. It felt like I belonged. It really gave me that sense of belonging. Um, I made friendships in that church. I saw things and experienced things that I can't quite explain, but I was very much faithful. Um, so when, okay, so when Dustin did what he did, started doing what he was doing, it became a very confusing time for me. In fact, I think I've read the most of my Bible during the time in which this was occurring. Some of the some of the things that he did beg to question if there could really be a God, if this is still happening. So as I got older and it started to stop, I started asking more questions. I started to think I started to think that that's what I was missing, that God was trying to tell me something and that I had to figure it out. That it was I just couldn't hear him. I wasn't developed enough. I kept messing up and doing bad things and being bad and being. It was a very confusing time for me. I had a lot of moments of not knowing what to do, what to say, where to go. It was during this time that I tried to run away. It was during this time that I asked the most disturbing question that I've ever asked a person in my life. And I asked it because I was so freaking confused that I was jealous of him. No matter how bad he scared me, no matter how bad it was, he was still my brother. And fuck, this is harder than I expected it to be. Okay. All right. So I asked questions, and when I got an very angry reaction, I knew there wasn't that something wasn't right, that what we were doing was definitely wrong, and I needed answers. So by this point, I was part of our youth group, because I was old enough to be part of it. We had this like get together, um, at the youth counselor's house. It was by a lake. It was very quaint. I can still kind of picture it now. The inside I only half, because when he showed up, it's like I blocked it out. It's like it was a traumatic experience to see my brother at a youth get together that allowed to be at. Like, I just didn't expect him to be there. It's the first time I told anyone about what was happening to me. And it's the first time I showed doubts in my faith, because it's very, because you wonder how such things could occur and still happen. And from your family. So it definitely begged into question my faith. So I'm only touching base when it comes to them, because this is really a video about the religion side of it. But it was the first time I questioned my faith. It's the first time I questioned my family. And after I told the truth and was moved, I still tried to hold on to the faith. I really, because it was all I had left. I very much thought, you know what, maybe this was my God's plan for me. Maybe this was what I needed, how things needed to go. So I still believed in God when I moved in with the bootleggers. And for 4 years, I still tried to be faithful and godly. And it just, it became incredibly difficult to hold on to that faith after I moved to the city. And I tried to go into a church once, and it was raining. I was soaked. I was in very raggedy clothes. I did not look my best. And they would not let me in to pray. No, you do not need a church to pray. You can pray anywhere. But I hadn't been in a church for so long that I needed that in that moment. It's crazy when I look back at it and think, I believe so strongly in this entity that was supposed to protect me, and he didn't. But then I'm reminded of a story that was told at one of my Bible camps. It was about this woman that kept on bleeding, and she kept saying, Jesus will help me. But she would refuse help from everybody else until she seen Jesus. And when she got to Jesus, Jesus said, "You've revoked every attempt I made to help you." And for a very long time, I felt a lot of shame on myself. I felt a lot of hate for myself, because I thought that was God's punishment, because he was showing me ways out and I didn't take them. That I should have ran, that was God's plan, or this. I overanalyzed the hell out of it. So after I turned 16, I think I just kind of lost belief in what I thought was meant to be. what I thought was God's plan for me. So now, I study herbology, and I believe in the power of plant life, and that there is a certain energy out there that we put out and that we take back, and that it's like a connection, and it's like, and with some people, that's how I can tell. Like, some people are just not okay, like they're not good people. And I look at these things, and this is why I believe that. And I compare it to paganism because I don't really have a thing to pinpoint it on, because I do believe something created us. I think that we could not have come from nothing. But to what extent that is, I don't know. So I was gonna leave this open for like questions and stuff, but I don't really see anybody watching at the moment. But yeah, that's my belief now. That was why I stopped believing in God, why I lost my faith. And yeah, happy healing.